And today we're going to talk about Destiny 2. The game has been out for 2 weeks, so there are a lot of reviews out there talking about the good and the bad of Destiny 2 from different aspects, whether you've played the game, the first one or the second one. So I've played the first one, finished the story mode, which was quite boring actually, and I just finished the second one a couple of weeks back. So today we're going to talk about the pros and cons, what I enjoyed about Destiny 2, and my overall review of the game. This is pretty much important, especially if you're thinking of getting the game, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you are on the fence on whether to get it or not, considering most of us were burned with the first game. So let's jump straight into it and let's talk about the storyline. So first of all, compared to Destiny 1, the storyline in Destiny 2 is there's much more structure to it. There's a better story. The writing is much better. The dialogue, it's much more punchy, I guess. You actually care about these characters, and I'm not just talking about Cade, who's pretty much the face of the Destiny 2 promotion. Everyone else, Zavala, Ikora, Hawthorne, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, it's Hawthorne, the one with the hawk. But the problem is, you kind of felt, all right, cool. I know these guys. Finally, I have a story. I get a story about them. There is a MacGuffin at the end of the day. It was like, wow, what you got to do? You lost your power, and you need to get back your light. And there's a physical bad guy there. But my problem is, as the story progresses, you start to realize. I mean, okay, good. There is an objective at the end of it, but suddenly you start to feel that the story is actually pretty weak. It's pretty much a run of the mill. You need to do A, B, and C to get to the final point, and it kind of gives you that sense of, okay, cool, you're gonna gather all of these characters together, and I was somewhat expecting to have them fighting alongside towards the boss fight, and spoiler alert, you didn't. I didn't. You end up fighting alone, which kind of kills the whole vibe, because leading up towards the end, you were told that, get everyone together. It's like assembling the Avengers, and next thing you know, all of them were not in fighting condition, and you have to finish the job yourself. Okay, fine, cool. But once you meet the enemy, and here's also an issue about MMO games that I feel that kind of turns me off from it, because it comes to a point of a cycle where you grind to level up your character so you can fight stronger enemies and defeat them. And the cycle continues by, the stronger the enemy you defeat, the better the loot, the harder you get to defeat harder enemies. But there'll come a time where your character is either underpowered, or if you are the patient side, you find your character being overpowered for that situation, and it just kills the whole fun. It says I would require power of 210 or 220 to defeat this, and then I realize my character is at 240, 250, and that's not much challenge that I'm getting. The enemies are still pretty much bullet sponges, as in Destiny 1 and even in probably the Division, but they just don't soak much damage because you have weapons that are too strong. So it just kills that whole progression feel as you level up, because some people might not just jump only on the soul storyline. Some of them might just jump to this Crucible or just jump somewhere else, leveling themselves up by the time they towards a certain point in the story. So that is my gripe about the story. It's fun, but after a while it gets tiring. It's like watching a superhero movie, and then after a while you get desensitized to all the action and power, because I think you've done all, and then all the enemies just feel pointless. Even the final boss fight was very, very disappointing in my opinion. Just pepper him with rockets, and your, we call it alts or whatever, your power, and then that's it. So that's about single player. If you're in it just for a single player, it's better than the first Destiny, I'll give you that. But people don't play Destiny just for the single player. They play Destiny because of the whole multiplayer experience. And but before you go to multiplayer, the post game, which is by the time you're done with the game, your level will be capped at 20, and then they say that's when Destiny really starts. That's when you start leveling up your character, going back going back to this 5 maps, if I'm not mistaken, trying out different challenges, daily challenges, probably assignments, whatever, just to get better loot. Like I said, it's a cycle of you take a harder task, you get better loot, your character becomes stronger, so you can defeat stronger enemies. So the cycle continues. It's fun after a while, after you get your second or third legendary Ingram, you're like, alright, you want to do it again. You want to, start infusing your weapons, trying to look for better weapons, trying to find the best cave to loot, the best way of combining whatever stats to get the best engrams. But after a while, it starts to, the interest starts to wane. For me, I start to just lose steam after I reach 265, which coincidentally is the soft cap. I felt that's the drive to continue on playing, it just kills it. Of course you can say, but Ken, you play Overwatch, and Overwatch doesn't have a story, and you keep on playing and playing again. But the difference here is, it's the challenge that you want to take on each stage. On Overwatch, you'll be playing against different people every time. There's no matches that are the same. But in this one, you know where the enemy is going to spawn at, and you kind of know after a while where the loot boxes are going to respawn. You know when you kind of figure out the regens, when each map is going to be reset. So after a while, it gets a bit too predictable. Of course, if you enjoy the grinding, go ahead by all means. But for someone who wants more challenge, it gets boring really, really quick. And some people say, okay, fine, let's go to multiplayer. So they changed the multiplayer section where instead of 6 versus 6, it's 4 versus 4. All good. I think with a smaller map, with a much more smaller number of players, you get your superpowers much more often. You get to kill more. You probably die more as well, but it's fun. But the problem is, with multiplayer in Destiny is, if you don't grind enough and you come against people who have really, really better guns than you, doesn't matter what they say about leveling out the weapons and whatever, you will feel inadequate, because let's face it, there will be better guns for people who grind more. I mean, that's just high tendency of that. Number two, I get where they're coming with this sort of shooter. It's more on the twitchy Call of Duty style, but it just kills it because of all this. The map isn't that great in terms of multiplayer. It was fun for single player, but when it comes to multiplayer, it's very one-dimensional. If you find a way of those little back alleys to actually kill people without them noticing you, noticing those spawn point cycles, you can easily dominate. So I'm not a fan of it. Number two, the quick play playlist is kind of annoying because you don't know what you're gonna get. Some of the modes, I'm not a fan of them, especially Capture the Flag, but that's just me. Another stuff I want to talk about would be the special weapons in Destiny 2, which I think could be the only driving force that would make you want to play the game more and more. It's like, for me, I want to get the Red King, so I'll probably return just to get the Red King. But after that, I might be too overpowered to kill, for any enemies on the map, which is kind of like, okay, or maybe I bring it to multiplayer, and then it kind of kills the whole parity because it might be too strong for everyone else. My favorite weapon would be I forgot what you call that, the gun that if you kill an enemy with it, they explode. So that's my go-to weapon. And after a while, you will find a combination of maybe 3 or 4 weapons that you will pair, and suddenly looting, it doesn't mean much for you. So unless you want to go for a particular weapon, once you get it, the motivation is gone. So that's my problem with Destiny 2. Another issue would be longevity of it. I wouldn't say myself as a hardcore player, but when I play something, I would like to see myself playing it in the long term. But for Destiny, once I finish the game, I think I got like 4 to 5 days maximum in terms of I need to get back and play this game. And after that, it's just the same run-of-the-mill thing. So you might be wondering, which version should you get? Should you get the one with the expansion pass or not? I didn't. I got the basic one. And if you realize, inside there is this small booklet that tells you that the first expansion pass is going to come in winter 2017, so probably around December. And the second expansion pass is going to come in spring 2018. So you're paying extra to 2 new content, which you might get. You've probably been bored of Destiny after 4-5 days, if you like me. So you might want to reconsider that. Don't take away from that, but Destiny is a fun game. It's not great, but it is a good game. A solid probably 8, and 8.5 is being very, very generous. So so there you have it, my review or my opinion on Destiny 2. It's on PS4, it's on the Xbox One. If you're waiting for it on PC, I suggest go to YouTube, look at all the gameplays, look at all the tips. You can go for the spoiler-free ones. Sorry if I spoiled your story here, but then again, not many people go to Destiny 2 for the story anyway. So, and learn about the game, because unless you're in for a long haul, it might be a game that you might want to skip and actually go for something else, because around September you have tons of games coming out. So, thanks for watching. If you have any comments and questions about Destiny 2, drop them in the comments below. Happy to reply when I see them. And I'll be talking about games soon again. Probably gonna talk about FIFA and PES, but today it's Destiny 2. Probably go back to Overwatch, because unless you have a dedicated strike team, it's quite hard to chug along. So that's me signing off. I'll catch you guys later.